Hello, my name is Lynn Campbell, and I am the chair of the Area Agency on Aging Advisory Council. This council was established by the Older Americans Act of 1965 to serve in an advisory capacity to the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities and the county executive as they develop and coordinate community-based systems of services for older adults. The month of May is celebrated annually as Older Americans Month. This year's theme is Communities of Strength. It celebrates the strength of older adults and their roles in building strong communities through the successes and challenges they have experienced in their lives that made them more resilient. Each week of the month, a different topic will be introduced related to the Communities of Strength theme. This week's is Challenges and Successes and Hope for the Future. This is my story. The pandemic restrictions of 2020 provided time for often postponed tasks like cleaning out closets, files, and photos. It was then that I was reminded of when the most significant challenge that I experienced in my lifetime occurred. It was when I addressed the needs of my aging mother who had developed Alzheimer's. Our family was on vacation when we first noticed her frustration and disorientation at being at a new location. When we returned, we took her to the doctor who confirmed the diagnosis and discussed a plan of care. Since I was working at the time, my dad became Mom's primary caregiver. As her disease progressed, it became obvious that he needed a respite, so I investigated adult daycare options to relieve his burden. I stopped on my way to work to ensure that she was ready to be picked up. When she needed more care, I found out about Sunrise of Severna Park's Memory Care Unit at an elder care seminar at my workplace. The location was affordable, offered a convenient commute for my dad, and a pleasant environment for his daily visits with Mom and his interactions with other residents. It was reassuring that she was being cared for. My husband and I frequently visited Mom at the Reminiscence Unit. We helped their social director plan activities that would encourage other residents' families to visit. My husband played the guitar and conducted sing-alongs several times a month. On one occasion, we brought the Pascal Senior Center Go-Getters Chorus to the facility to provide entertainment, which the residents thoroughly enjoyed. Meantime, I was able to work full-time, finish my degree at University of Maryland on a scholarship, and graduated with honors. While knowing that my mother was in good hands, I was also close enough to be available whenever she needed me. The phrase, "when life gives you lemons, make lemonade," is used to encourage optimism and a positive can-do attitude in the face of adversity or misfortune. It certainly worked in my situation. My caregiving experience with my mom and her disease piqued my interest in senior issues and had a direct influence on my post-retirement work at the Department of Aging. I worked part-time for the Senior Plus program at Pascal Center, providing stimulating activities for a group of frail elderly, ages 66 to 93. I was a consultant for a team of Pascal seniors on a unique in-house newsletter, and I also served on the Pascal Advisory Council. I did part-time freelance work as a writer and assistant editor of the Howard County Generations newspaper, and I assisted with the kickoff of their Anne Arundel County edition. I also served as a friendly visitor for the talented Pascal Center member Jo Shane before her death. Her artwork hangs at the entrance of the Pascal Senior Center and in my living room and kitchen and at the Department of Aging. I was appointed to the Area Agency on Aging Advisory Council in 2012, where I currently serve as chair. My mother passed in August 1999, a week after her 80th birthday. My hope for the future is that a cure or treatment is found for Alzheimer's disease, and that our nation never has to face another pandemic. Happy Older Americans Month. See you again on week 4.
Hi, my name's Carol, and I have been asked to tell you about a challenge. For me, the biggest challenges in my life have always been when I've lost someone close to me. And unfortunately, the older we get, the more people we lose in our lives. I've lost my parents and 2 of my 3 brothers and a husband, and each loss is worse than the previous ones. So if you're facing something like that, I'll tell you what I've done is to reach out to other people and help them. So if you're going through a grief period, just know that your loved ones would want you to be happy. They wouldn't want you to stay sad. They would want you to go on. And if you can find some volunteer work or, pick up the phone, reach out to an organization, an old friend, something like that, that's what's helped me. When I help someone else, I get help from it as well. As far as accomplishments, I have 2 young men that I've raised, and I feel very accomplished in that they've both turned out to be nice, wonderful human beings, and I'm very proud of them. So for me, that's a great accomplishment. And my hope for the future is that we can have a lot more wonderful, caring human beings, and that we can all come together as families, as a country, as communities, and around the world for that matter, and learn to treat everyone with respect and equality.
All right, tell me about one challenge that you've had in your life.
I guess the biggest challenge would have to go back to about 1961 when I was 15 years old. Was debating on what to do with my future and decided to join the Navy. And after 22 and a half years, I retired from the Navy in 1986. And that was a challenge at the time, because when I was 15, I was a typical kid, confused, thought I knew everything about everything. And I learned real quick after a short period of time in the Navy that wasn't the case. So that would be my challenge, I guess.
All right, give me one success.
Well, my success would be the 22 and a half years I spent in the Navy. I got my GED when I first joined. I got my undergraduate degree from University of Maryland. I got a graduate degree from Central Michigan University. I went from E1 to E9, from W2 to W4, and retired as a Navy lieutenant. And those things that I learned prepared me well for my civilian career that I embarked on after retiring in 1986.
I think for me, the most success I've had has been, over the last 40 years, has been working in partnership with a variety of individuals across the lifespan, as well as working with multicultural organizations to impact positively the lives of several thousand people. I think that, to me, has been one of my most successful accomplishments. In terms of what I think about most challenging is the fact that there's so many unmet needs out there, and to me it's a real challenge to find ways to access the resources that are out there to impact the individual lives or collective lives of the people I serve. As far as maybe hoping for the future, I think I'm hoping that we can emerge from this pandemic and be much more aware of the needs that the pandemic brought on, but also the needs of others, and trying to meet those needs as effectively and efficiently as possible. And that's my hope.
My success that I'm really proud of is writing my book, Cruising Through Caregiving, that helps a lot of family caregivers, and starting my business, Generations Health. I feel really proud of that and the work that we do. One of my biggest challenges, and I've talked about this, has to do a lot with my dad. And my dad was a really successful business person and a great father in so many ways, but dealt with a lot of mental health challenges during his life. And being a family caregiver for him during that time of his life, pretty much most of my adult life, was very challenging for myself as well as the rest of my family. I think one of the things that I learned through that was it doesn't matter how successful somebody is outwardly, you can always be surprised that someone can be facing mental health challenges. And so I think it's really a hope for the future is that we as a country and as a society become more open about talking about our mental health challenges. I think the pandemic has really made people feel more comfortable talking about their struggles. We've seen a lot of psychiatric hospitalizations, a lot of people seeking counseling during this time. And I've been able to share more of my stories about my dad because of that. And I hope we as a society continue to be open. Having a mental health challenge does not make us weak. It is a challenge just like a physical health challenge that we might be going through. And so I hope we can all continue to be compassionate and loving toward one another when we share challenges about mental health.
Hi, my name's Gary, and I'm truly blessed, and the success that I've had was overcoming alcohol and drug use. Coming from a situation where I was homeless to a homeowner was one of the biggest things in my life. Along the journey, I've made a few friends. I didn't need a lot, but I made friends that are true friends to me. And that's one of the biggest successes of my life today, is that I'm not alone, that I don't have to feel alone anymore. My hope is that other people can share this feeling too. You're not alone. If you're in the dumps and you're down and out with alcohol, drug use, there's hope. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
As a community, we've been challenged and shaken in grief that we felt within ourselves and for so many others throughout this past year and even now. It is a time naturally to reflect. After all, we've had a lot of time to think. Like in grief, alongside of reflection, there's often a rebuilding process. So, as our closed doors begin to reopen in our new ways, hopefully our hearts will also remain open to some of the goodness that has been ever present during this time in our everyday people. You may have discovered, rediscovered, or been acutely reminded of what is really important in life. Put simply, pure kindness and forgiveness, not only to others, but to ourselves, listening and supportive, meaningful sharing, feeding one another, praying for another, and finding connection and companionship with others in any or all the ways possible. I'm remembering a special person who is no longer with us, but he always shared his infinite, thoughtful wisdom. A quote from Mr. Fred Rogers. All of us, at some time or other, need help. Whether we're giving or receiving help, each one of us has something valuable to bring to this world. That's one of the things that connects us as neighbors in our own way. Each of us is a giver and a receiver. As we now, in our community, find ourselves waking to mornings of busy chirping birds and birdsong, looking out to the new green growth and colorful flowers reappearing before our eyes, and some days feeling the warmth of sunshine on our skin. Maybe some of these endless beautiful wonders just outside of our windows additionally can be elements in our healing and recovery and be helpful to provide us a sense of hope and returning light. I will leave you today with positive wishes as we continue on this journey together. And one more quote from Mr. Rogers. Often, when you think you're at the end of something, you're at the beginning of something else.
Hello everyone, this is Karrisa Gouin, Director of the Department of Aging and Disabilities for Anne Arundel County. Thank you to everyone watching for joining our Anne Arundel County Older Americans Month celebration. We are proud to support older adults and celebrate how our county has pressed forward together through every challenge and opportunity in this past year, and how we can continue to thrive united in the next year. With this year's theme of Communities of Strength, Older Americans Month celebrates how our older adults have built resilience and strength over a lifetime through successes, failures, joys, and challenges. In this video, community members will share both their successes and challenges in this last year, and their goals for the future will be most important. Now, I would like to reflect on how these experiences relate to the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities. Speaking on behalf of myself and my team, I would like to share one success, one challenge, and one future goal for our department. One success would be the development and strengthening of programs that have helped our community through the relentless obstacles and often more than impending hardship of COVID-19. During this past year, we had to quickly reimagine the way we serve our community. Through innovation and speed, we were able to shift our service delivery and create new programs and services that met the immediate and ever-changing needs of our community. So I would like to share with you some examples of the impact we had on our communities during this time. Over the last year, we've distributed over 20,000 boxes of fresh produce at our Fresh Food Friday event, made over 110,000 well check calls to older adults, and responded to over 17,000 vaccination calls on our COVID Care Warm Line. We were also proud to have distributed over 500,000 meals since the start of the pandemic and developed critical case management programs to address the growing crisis needs of the individuals we served. We made available virtual programming. We made it an option across many programs, and we will continue to do so until it's safe to meet in person again. We recognize that everyone faces their own unique difficulties, both directly and indirectly connected to the COVID-19 pandemic. And we are proud that our team rose to the challenge of assisting the community during this time. In approaching challenges, a challenge that we faced in the last year has been ensuring our programs remain operational, effective, and accessible, regardless of the limitations and circumstances. Our team went into overdrive to ensure our community learned about new resources, such as outdoor food distribution events and critical resources that they needed at the time. As Anne Arundel County adjusted to a socially distanced world, we had the obstacle of making sure that older adults received the same assistance as before the pandemic. We've learned from this challenging experience and have gained new efficiencies in service delivery. Most importantly, this challenge has expanded our reach into the communities, and we have forged new relationships with those that needed our services and supports. Finally, a future goal. With senior activity centers reopening, a world where we can join one another in person is getting closer and closer. And even through COVID-19, it will have lasting effects on our county, but our goal is that the Department of Aging and Disabilities will continue to demonstrate adaptability to meet and thrive through any challenge this ever-changing world throws our way. The pandemic has proven we're a united team with the capacity and capability to take on any challenge, and we look forward to future innovations that truly meet the needs of our community. Thank you for joining us for Older Americans Month, and we're happy to start the summer together and remain united for years to come.